Good afternoon and welcome to PlayerWon. My name is Nick Weasel Fryman, and I am your host for this afternoon, or if you're in the United Kingdom, this evening. Welcome to Bonus Round. Bonus Round is our show where we play video games because, well, you know, video games are fun. And so, why don't we share them with everyone else? A huge thank you to Final Dasa on Twitter for retweeting that we are live. Obviously, you can head over onto the social media and let people know that we're live. We appreciate it, especially because we're going to have a problem with the fact that this game is actually not in the games database here on Twitch, so we're not really going to get discovered very much. That said, this game is a little bit different than most games, so I'm going to up front say spoiler warning. If you don't want this game to be spoiled, we're going to play it. It is about an hour and a half long, they say, and we're going to play it. So, just as a heads up, if you don't want something to be spoiled, don't watch this. If you're watching this on the archive, again, same thing. Spoiler alert, you now know that we're going to play this game. This game that we're playing in today's bonus round is called The Beginner's Guide. It is made by the same person who made the Stanley Parable. His name is Davey Redden? I'm probably butchering his last name. I loved the Stanley Parable, and I've heard a lot of stuff about this game. This game, apparently, no one's talking about specifics, which is great, but everyone's talking about it. So I decided I'm going to play it anyway. I might as well play it on stream if someone watches. Cool. So yeah, and a thank you to Philbilly, who is at work, but just stopping in to say hi and hope the show goes well. So we're gonna hop right into this. Basically, I'm gonna tell you the quick things. Hey, get on our social media, let people know that we're live, so that we get more viewers. If you want to learn more about our Extra Life campaign coming up, where we are going to be raising money for charity, extralife.playerone.tv is the website to go to. And hey, if you want to donate to our stream here and get your name on the screen during the gameplay, donate.playerone.tv. Also, we got a show later tonight during our normal time slot. So happy hour is still a thing today because it's Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. We made it. So now we're going to get a bit serious here, and we're going to play this game. And again, I have no idea what this is or how this is going to go. This is literally the first time I've played this. So I'm turning up the audio a little bit so that I can hear better. But this is the beginner's guide. You know what? Give me a second here. I'm going to mess with an audio level. Just because I don't know how loud this game is going to be, I've decided to turn it up a little bit, and we're going to hope that it's not up too loud, is all I'm going to say. And yeah, let's begin the beginner's guide. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Redden. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game.
Wow.
As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
This is not what I was expecting. So, wow, this is really like a behind the scenes on video game development that I am actually super interested in, and I'm glad I'm doing this. All right, let's do this. So this is Coda's first game, 2008. Whoa.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Okay, sure. You know, it's straightforward. If it's a first game that someone made, it's pretty obvious what it is, and it's just kind of, you know.
can click to fire the gun.
No audio.
Security hull breached. Hostile alien life form inbound.
Okay.
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere.
Accurate.
But then clearly there are no enemies anywhere.
Okay.
You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets.
Oh.
But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is.
Huh.
And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Huh.
Force neutralized. Begin ship evacuation.
Interesting. This is getting in-depth on game design, and I'm totally in on talking and thinking about this. I've been thinking
I
about...
love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
It's a box. You can see the lines of the box. It is totally literally a skybox. How interesting. Oh, wait. Okay.
Apparently this space station has a labyrinth on it.
Okay.
Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Wait. But... Oh.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the Whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it?
Wow.
Could you give yourself?
I mean, yeah?
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Also, hello to Ozone Entertainment in the chat. Thank you for joining me this afternoon for bonus round. Oh. Whoa.
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it, like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Okay. I'm going to preface this, a hello to Austin116 in the chat. This is extremely this is the game. We are playing this game. This game will be done in an hour, a little over an hour more. So, if you want to play,
walking backwards.
If you want to play this yourself.
Yep. In this game, you can only walk backwards.
Oh. Oh, did not even realize that. Wow. Okay.
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Code is trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Oh man, this is a thought experiment that I am totally in. This is not the Stanley Parable in any way. This is as far from the Stanley Parable as possible. This is made by the guy who made the Stanley Parable, but it is definitely not.
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
Okay. Alright, so I can only see... Oh, I can't walk off the path. And I can only see, you know, obviously a little bit in front of me here.
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
Okay.
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
Oh, okay.
I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Okay. Oh,
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Okay. All right.
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games. Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
Wow. Also, hello to Cavdab and Illuria in the chat. Welcome. Wow. Okay. Sure, ready, set, fish. So, just to be clear, this game, you're not going to see like this, you're not going to see these amazing graphics, these amazing action and adventure. This is a thought experiment, so keep your mind open about video game design and the bigger picture here. I'm not seeing the fish part yet. But like, because I'm going to want to talk about this, I have a feeling. Okay. Oh, hello. Okay.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
I mean... Okay. Oh. Huh. Okay. Nope, that just pulls the lever. Okay. Alright. Can't open that. Wait. Aha!
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
Okay. You know, I had a feeling. I had a feeling. Well, thank you for watching, Austin. Yeah, this game is currently $8. It will be $10 on Steam. So if you don't want to, you know, see it.
That seems to be it, right?
Now.
You walk down a corridor, you solve the puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again, so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Okay. Oh! Well.
All about that. There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
Yeah. Okay, we're back. Okay. Oh.
Aha. So this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Okay. Alright. The Great and Lovely Descent. You guys can actually see it better. Whoa! Ooh, that's really bright.
Let's talk about video game development for a second.
Yeah, okay.
Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do.
Okay.
So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development. To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source.
Okay.
Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Okay. Well, so far so good. But now what? Okay. Wanna land in the orange one. Okay. I see something down there. Oh! Whoopsie! Oh, that worked. Wasn't supposed to jump down gracefully. Works for me. Okay. Okay. Wow. Sorry, I'm trying to also pay attention to sound. Because I feel like there's something important with them as well. Like, everything about this is important, not gonna lie. Okay. Oh. Huh. Okay. Yep. Won't. Okay. Alright.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go.
Holy shit.
If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
No, I do not mind.
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Of course not. Okay. So we're obviously just walking forward here. Oh, it doesn't look like I can go that way. Can't go that way, so we're going down. Okay. I can't go down the center because there's this, like, glass here, you could say. So, you know, we're leaving the prison. Or at least going outside. Okay.
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time. There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
Again, box, sky box, literal box. You can see the seams where the box is. And that's a lot of older video games were literal boxes. And they still, in video games these days, they are still more or less boxes for the sky. You just can't necessarily see the seams as much as you used to be able to.
Here, Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Okay. Huh. Huh. Interesting. Okay. We must escape this prison, but you guys are not in the prison. The prison is over there. Tell us how to reach the end. Oh, I can't get up there. I'm not allowed up there. Okay. Alright. Thank you to Awesome6 for retweeting. Okay. I'm gonna change my answer. You can sit in the black space in the middle. What happens if I solve it? Huh.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
Okay. Didn't he say something about, is this like the black space in between that I can stand in? I don't know. Okay, you know what? Let's go out here.
It's a lamppost.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Okay, April 2009. This game is connected to the internet. As you walk around, you can leave notes. Is it really? No, seriously, is this true? I don't know if that's... I can't imagine that it is, but... Nice room, not. How... I have to know how I leave a note for another player. which is why I wonder if it actually is.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is
Yeah.
connected to the internet.
I didn't think so.
All of the notes that you're gonna see have been written by Coda.
Okay.
This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
Balls. Perfect. Nope. That's perfect.
But it's ironic, isn't it? That in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
Don't listen. Boy, this sounds like a Dark Souls type thing of there's nothing here, go back, don't listen to that guy. Yup, sounds like Dark Souls. Someday I'll meet the person who made this. Okay. I help people because of the wow. Also, that's misspelled, but I help people because of the intro good feeling I get. Whoa. New room. Do you hear the chimes? They keep going. Wow, this could, it's not very great. I want to, not gonna lie, again, I want to read all of these, but for sake of time, I'm not going to. Because we could be here a while, and people don't like it when I sit and read all of these, no matter how interesting they could be. And he put a lot of work putting all of these in here, like... He had to put all of these in here. Himself. Painting, what does it mean? Where made this has issues. Who are all of you? Wow. Okay. Like, yeah. Well, I'm here now. Yeah, we're all here now. There must be a reason for it, though. His terrible secret. I beat the game! Oh my god. More room?
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on. And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
Okay. Well, I don't like that sound at all. But other than that sound, I get everything. Oh, holy shit. May to June 2009 is what we're loading right now. Porn stars die
this one
too.
Is tough. It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Okay. Wow. Whoa. Okay. This is cool and interesting and yeah, okay. Alright. Reusing assets. Oh, that's really dark.
See, like, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else.
Intriguing.
Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
I'm glad I looked up, because how much you bet I wouldn't... Oh, wow. Okay. Alright. That 10 stoves lined up against the wall. No, you know what? I wanna... No, that's not what I... Okay. Oh yeah. I'm thinking 10 by 12 recess Nope, that's not what I asked for. No, we've already got the table. Tables were invented in 1935. Whoa!
There's a bit more to this one, but still it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
I mean... Yeah, but it's...
So, okay, he throws it out and starts over.
Cool.
This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Okay. I mean... I guess I don't have much of a choice. Okay. Okay. Alright. Alright. And a real prison escape will now open. Return to the start to be taken back to your prison. Huh.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape.
Huh.
Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside.
Ah.
I'll just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop. that particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he lights it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons.
Okay.
This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
Whoa. That's super dark on my screen. My my monitor is auto-correcting brightness and bringing it way down because it's thinking that it's supposed to be dark. So it's trying not to make it brighter, so I'm actually having to watch the stream source to be able to see what I'm doing better. Alright, so there's the lamppost again, but... Whoa. Whoa.
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
Not that long. Yeah. Huh. Oh. Can I? This is, we're getting a bit deep here.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
Loading August 2009. Oh, that time it actually showed up on the stream. Good.
So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself? To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
That was a bit premature, but okay. Oh. Messy place you have here. Oh, hi. Hello. I'm glad as all heck you showed up.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Okay.
I
So it's kind of saying that, you know, keeping your mind busy with stuff such as cleaning in this case is a way of keeping your mind off other things that are complicated in your life. So, you know, by cleaning and keeping things oh. No, I want to hear. See, this is what I have this problem with some of my friends anyway. Like, they don't want to tell me.
After the intense set of prison games,
Wait.
this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
Okay.
I know that Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was, like, grossly happy all the time. Just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
Okay, yeah. Housekeeping. Yeah, okay, we're just gonna keep doing it? Sure. Alright, yeah, I got you.
I'm glad he made this. I'm glad he found some peace.
Okay.
But, of course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
The windows are just gone. I decided not to walk out the door. I walked out the window. Here we are again.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.